Imagine a morning when the news breaks across every screen on the planet. Scientists have discovered a universal cure for all cancers. Not just a treatment that slows the disease, but a safe, one-time therapy that eliminates every kind of cancer cell: lung, breast, leukemia, brain tumors, every rare and stubborn variant. The headline alone would feel like a miracle. Cancer has touched nearly every family on Earth. 1 out of every 2 people is expected to face some form of it in their lifetime. Overnight, one of humanity's oldest and most feared enemies would be gone. Hospitals would erupt in cheers. Patients in oncology wards, children with leukemia, adults battling late-stage cancers, could stop their chemotherapy and radiation. Families who'd spent years on edge would finally exhale. Around the world, church bells would ring, fireworks would light city skies, and social media would fill with messages of gratitude and disbelief. Governments would declare global holidays. Charities long dedicated to cancer research would pivot to distributing the cure. Billions of people would line up, not for fear but for hope, ready to receive a single injection or pill that makes cancer a relic of history. Within weeks, cancer wards would empty. Clinics and research labs that once devoted entire floors to oncology would redirect their resources. Surgeons who specialized in removing tumors would retrain for other procedures. Pharmaceutical companies that earned billions on chemotherapy and targeted therapies would retool to produce the cure and, eventually, to focus on other diseases. The savings to health systems would be staggering. Globally, we spend trillions of dollars every year on cancer treatment and care. Those funds could flow into prevention of other illnesses, mental health services, or medical care for the world's poorest regions. An economy built partly on cancer care would need to adapt. Cancer drugs are a multi-hundred-billion-dollar industry. Jobs tied to manufacturing, research, and treatment would vanish. But new industries would surge. Production of the cure, advanced diagnostics to identify and treat cancers early, and new biotech ventures building on the breakthrough science. Insurance models would shift. With one of the costliest diseases gone, premiums might drop. Governments might redirect budgets from decades of cancer grants into climate action, education, or exploration of space. Cancer is a leading cause of death worldwide. Remove it and the average human lifespan would climb dramatically. Millions of people who might have died in their 50s or 60s would live into their 80s or 90s. Longer lives bring profound social questions. Pension systems would strain. Retirement ages might rise. Cities would need more housing for older adults. The global population could swell by hundreds of millions within a few decades, intensifying debates about food, water, and environmental sustainability. Science would not stop with the cure. The techniques, perhaps a perfect immune system reprogramming or a nanotechnology that hunts and destroys malignant cells, would revolutionize medicine. Researchers would adapt it to fight viruses, genetic disorders, even the cellular damage of aging itself. The discovery might spark a golden age of biomedical innovation. Diseases once thought incurable, Alzheimer's, advanced heart failure, rare genetic syndromes, would face new hope as scientists apply lessons from conquering cancer. For generations, the word cancer has carried a special fear. It shaped art, literature, and countless personal stories. With a cure, that shadow would lift. People might feel freer to smoke or drink or skip screenings, behavioral changes that could raise rates of other illnesses. Public health campaigns would have to keep reminding us that heart disease, diabetes, and infectious threats still matter. Survivor communities would evolve from groups of shared struggle to keepers of history, telling new generations what life was like when cancer was a death sentence. A single cure also raises hard questions of fairness. Who gets it first? Wealthy nations could afford instant distribution, but low-income countries might lag behind. Black markets might appear, selling counterfeit doses. The world would face a moral test: whether to share the discovery freely as a public good or allow patents and profits to control access. The early days of the COVID-19 vaccine hinted at these challenges. A universal cancer cure would magnify them. Cancer isn't just one disease, it's hundreds of different conditions tied to how cells grow and divide. A true universal cure would mean we've learned to control cell biology at an unprecedented level. That knowledge might open the door to slowing aging itself, because aging and cancer share many biological pathways. The cure for cancer could become the first step toward extending healthy human life far beyond today's limits. Decades after the discovery, people would look back on the time before the cure the way we now view the era before antibiotics. Children would learn about cancer in history classes, astonished that once it claimed millions every year. Hospitals would keep a symbolic oncology ward as a museum, a reminder of how far science and global cooperation can go. Finding a complete cure for cancer would not end all suffering, nor solve every human problem. But it would prove something profound: that knowledge and perseverance can defeat even the most complex enemy. It would give every person on Earth more time to create, to love, to explore, to simply live. And perhaps that gift of time, and the unity required to achieve it, would inspire us to tackle the next great challenges together: curing other diseases, protecting our planet, and shaping a future worthy of the lives we've reclaimed.